So the Piggy Bank body is now leather hard, and it's time to attach the different parts. Normally I work in series, so I would put all the legs on, all the ears, and etc. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to put together a whole Piggy Bank at one time. So as I said, the piece is leather hard, and we have this flat surface that we created before when we trimmed it. So I put the feet around that flat surface. So I'm going to make some marks for where they're going to go. Scoring. I like to use this serrated rib to score with. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. So I've rolled out a coil. It's about, I think it's like let's measure. I think it's about a ½ inch, maybe 3/4 of it, between a half and 3/4 inch thick. And I will make my first cut, and then I'll put it up next to the coil. Cut the next foot. And you want to get like 4 feet that are about the same height. You can fix it if you messed up a little bit. All right, so now I've got my 4 feet. I'll put them up next to each other, and oops, got a little bit of clay on there from something else. Make sure they're kind of round. I'm pretty loose when it comes to how this all looks. All right, so I kind of want each one to be unique and different. So now I'm going to score each of the feet. Put them aside, get the body. I've got this sitting on a towel because I don't want to mess up the curved side. So I use a mixture of slip and toilet paper. I can't really tell you what the ratio is. It's just I do it till it feels right as far as how much toilet paper is in it. And I think that helps to attach things a little bit better. I know other people have used things like vinegar, and I'm sure there's many things out there that work, but this is what works for me. So I'm putting slip on both pieces. Especially I've got this clay is pretty soft. It's out of the bag, and this is leather hard, so there are different drynesses, and that can sometimes cause problems with attachment. So one thing you want to do when you put the foot on is you want to wiggle it around until you feel it not wiggling anymore, and then you'll have a pretty good joint at that point. So I put all feet on. Again, don't press too hard because you don't want to mess the body up. But I am pressing some. And because this clay is soft, I haven't really smoothed out. Oops, that one's still wiggly. I haven't smoothed out the feet and stuff. You want to soften those edges before you're done. But for now, I'm not going to worry about that. And I will take care of it when the piece has dried some. When the, parts that we've just added on. Okay, so now we have 4 feet that are attached, and I will clean it up a little bit, but do the rest later. So get rid of some of that slip, and then I'm going to take this rubber tip tool and just kind of go around the feet. Make sure we have a nice good seal. And you could use a wooden tool or whatever you're comfortable with. I just like this rubber tip tool. So now, to give a little movement and personality to this, I like to put the Piggy Bank body down, put on its feet. Make sure the feet are sitting flat on the table, because sometimes the way I attach them, they're not really flat. And then I like to press down. And that scrunches the feet up a little bit and gives it a little bit of movement that you wouldn't have had if you just put the coils on. So you see now all the coils are a little, there's like a little wrinkle in here and stuff like that. So I think it just adds to the piece. So there you go. All right, so now we have feet. And it's time for the ears. So the way I do the ears is I've got this slab rolled out. Move that aside a little. And I just cut out 2 triangles. I will wiggle the knife a little to give it a little kind of a shape. And I'll actually use this as the side of the next triangle. Oh, that's a little skinny, so we're going to have to do that one again. I learned that I don't like anything to be too delicate when it comes to these piggy banks, because I made them delicate in the beginning and everything broke. The tail, the ears, well, I guess that's what broke. So I try to make them a little bit more substantial so that they won't break that easily, because sometimes these are kids that have them. At least they were in my family, and luckily the ones that all broke were my friends and family. All right, so I'm going to smooth these out a little bit, but again, I've got soft clay, so there's only so much I can do now. All right, now we have to figure out where we're going to place our ears. So I usually go up right to, it's probably about a 1/3 to 1/4 in, where the curve kind of starts to not flatten out, but be less of a curve. So that's about right here. So I'm going to just do that to place them. So if you wanted to, you could mark the spot, but I kind of know where it is. So I'm just going to score. So there's the scoring of where I'm going to place them. And do the same on the bottom of the ear. I'm going to slip. The good thing is, if you don't like where you put them, you could always take them off and make a new one or reattach them. So same thing, we're going to wiggle it as we put it on. So we get a nice secure seal. Okay, and then using my thumb or finger, I'm going to blend it in and kind of give a little curve to the ear while doing that. You want to get those also, the ends. Okay. And then the back side you can't really do that to, because it's kind of hard to blend it at that point. So I'm just going to take my rubber tip tool and make sure there's a good attachment. All right, now we get to play with the ears a little, which, you can do that now, or you could wait until after you've attached the eyes. And then you can see. So what I like to do is have like a little curve and maybe one pointing up or around. Just give it a little personality. Again, each one is different. Okay, so then I have these balls of clay that I'm going to turn into little flat ovals. You could make yours round, you could make them oval, whatever it is that suits you. And these are going to be the eyes. Sometimes I make them more oval, sometimes I make them less. Kind of all depends on what you want. Okay, so they're going to go right about here. You could have them pointing towards each other, you could have them away from each other, whatever. You could even have them straight on, but I don't usually do that. I either do pointing towards each other or away. I think I'll do this one pointing towards each other. So score. There's clay on here. Okay, score the circles, ovals, sorry. And then the slip. All right. And then same deal. We're going to wiggle it until it feels like it's stuck. And you can see it's not moving. Okay. Then I like to take a, you can take whatever you might have that has like a little circle bottom to it, but I use a pin tool. And I create these holes. And I like them to be a little off, so it adds to the craziness of my piggy. Oh, I just realized his ears are kind of close together. I usually do them a little separated, but since every one has got its own personality, it's okay. We can just add a little bit. Yeah. But you can see you can fiddle with them a little bit to get everything where you want it to be. Okay. Now we're going to do the tail. So I'm going to take a little bit of clay and roll out a coil. I am not the best coil roller, so I know you want to have your fingers kind of separated, and this clay is a little bit dry, this piece, so I'm going to put a little water there to help. Whoops. All right. I'm going to take my coil. Let's kind of smooth the end a little bit. And this is another place where you don't want it to be like just a point. And I'm going to make a little swirl. And then take it and tap it on the table so I get a flat bottom. And we want to figure out where the tail is going to go. So what I like to do is from the center of the ear, the center of the eye, the ear, go down here and put a mark. It's easier for me to see it this way. I just want to make sure it's the right spot. And again, do that with the tail. Slip. And then place your tail where you think it should go, however you want it to point. Wiggle it down. And take your rubber tool. Okay, so there's with the tail. So now the last step is to cut the slot, the money slot. So I kind of wing this also. I make these a little larger than maybe a standard piggy bank would be, because I like having a big opening for the money. So looks like I kind of just wing it. And remember, this is going to shrink, so even though this seems really big, it's not going to be quite as big as it seems. And I put that, you just want to do it in between the tail and the ears. And I kind of do it about the width that the tail is. That gives me some guide. And I'm going to cut it out. Whoops. And I do this last because now all the parts are on there, so I can just balance it out with everything else. It's a little uneven. That's okay. and maybe a little wide, but that's okay too. And then I'm going to just take a damp sponge and clean it up a little. And then you can just do some fine tuning later on when it's dried up some, but that's it. There's your piggy bank, the whole, yeah, that one is a little wide. And there you go. Looking forward to see what you come up with. See you next time.